Hello, my tubies, my Teletubbies. It's me, Sheila True Love, and this is exactly what I was telling you about in terms of when I take time to meditate on things. You see, I always have the fireplace going, and it's 2:27 in the morning. But I always use this type of scenario or this type of scenery to think about things and give things some thought. Like when I listen to a lot of the Jehovah's Witness videos that I listen to, I take time to pause, like I'm going to do now. Hold on a moment. I sit here and I listen to a lot of my videos while I sit in front of my fireplace. As you can see, I have the fireplace with the embers burning, and I have my ceiling fan going, and everything in the house is quiet. My roommate is at work. It's just me and Oreo. And I get a chance to listen to the things that I feel is important. Like I have another video that I'm listening to from Ali Big Toe. Why does it take some Jehovah's Witnesses so long to wake up? So I'm going to play that for us as we lay here.
Okay,
Here we go.
the theme of this video will be, why did it take you so long to wake up?
I have wondered about that so much. I'm not a dumb person, but I just kept asking me, and it was just this morning I woke up, literally, and this illustration came to my mind, and you're so good at illustrations, you might have your own. But I thought about a person who is starting to get sick, and I have to tell you my own experience. 10 years ago, I had symptoms that I didn't know what was going on. One foot would swell up, that'd get better, then the other foot would swell up. And, well, that wasn't so serious. And I think that's what happens. People think, well, this is uncomfortable or it's not right, but maybe it's not that serious. So it wasn't until it got worse that I went to the doctor and got some tests. And what got worse is that I had this striking pain in my back and side, but I still went out in service because I was pioneering at the time. And when I had to take action, you think it's going to get better, but it didn't. And that's what you think about the organization. It's going to get better.
Wait on Jehovah.
Yes, that's the term. Okay, so I went to the doctor and was one of those scans. My whole body went in. It was terrible because I couldn't lay down flat. I had very severe pain. They said, okay, we found a spot. It's either pneumonia or it's a blood clot. Well, it was the blood clot, pulmonary embolism. And if I hadn't finally taken action, I literally could have died. So that's the comparison I came up with, that we put it off and put it off, thinking things are going to be better, until we realize we have to do some testing. We have to do some investigation.
Yeah.
So that's why it took me so long. The tests have come in, and it was a revelation.
So what do you say to a Jehovah's Witness who says, wait on Jehovah?
Jehovah maybe is waiting on us to take action and do the research.
And I like asking,
And that's an excellent point that I like to share with my son, who's constantly saying, well, why didn't you just leave it in Jehovah's hands? And why didn't you just wait on Jehovah? Honey, Jehovah is waiting on you. Jehovah is waiting on us to take action. Like I said, I left all of this in Jehovah's hands because I can't be so bothered. But I could also see that Jehovah has taken this situation and he put it in his son Jesus Christ's hands. And Jesus is handling it by exposing this organization. And Jesus is doing this so he can help people get up out of it. And so he can help prevent people from coming back into this or trying to get into this. Not even come back, don't even get people into this. That is Jesus Christ handling the situation for all those who sat there patiently and said, let's just leave it in Jehovah's hand. Let's just leave it in Jehovah's hand. And because we left it in Jehovah's hand the way we were supposed to, I think it's a beautiful thing how Jesus Christ is handling the situation. It's called exposure.
Well, why can't that attitude apply to insert whatever religion? A Catholic. Mm-hmm. Why can't they just wait on God? Why do you feel compelled to knock on their door and tell them about all the flaws of their organization, yet you won't even look at your own?
Thank you.
It made me feel hypocritical.
So I think I'd like to sum this up with the three biggest points that made me wake up and say, I can't do this anymore.
What was that?
The first one is that the governing body, this is going to shock people, but I say the governing body has inserted itself more and more in the place of Jesus.
Thank you.
How can we say that? We invite people to the memorial and we instruct them, don't partake of the emblems that shows you have faith in Jesus. And
it's so ironic because I just saw the invitation for 2020 and it literally says in bold print, quoted from John chapter 6, do this in remembrance of me, but they're doing the exact opposite.
Okay.
That's another thing that woke me up, Tubies, is how they have managed to convince people to reject Jesus' ransom sacrifice. Anytime you do not partake of those emblems and you claim that you are a Christian and a follower of Jesus Christ, that's rejecting Jesus Christ. My Bible study group that I attend now, every Sunday, I partake of the wine and the leavened bread every Sunday. Because when you do your research, like you're instructed to do, Jesus Christ directed that to all of those who are followers of him. Because let me tell you how that makes sense. Because when Jesus Christ had that ceremony with his disciples, none of those disciples were anointed at that time. Because Jesus Christ hadn't gone to heaven, died and gone to heaven to make a place for them. So none of them were anointed. Jesus Christ said, all of those who are followers of me. And he instructed those apostles that he had this celebration or this ceremony with. He taught them, teach the people to keep doing this in remembrance of me. It wasn't directed to 144,000 or just a little group of people. No, that was for all those who are followers of Christ and all those who are Christians. We are instructed to do this in remembrance of Christ, to show that we appreciate his ransom sacrifice and that we appreciate Jesus Christ dying in our behalf, so that when we mess up, all we have to do is ask for forgiveness and to repent. Repent means you change your ways, you ask for forgiveness, and it's beautiful. It's just that simple. But not according to these Watchtower witnesses. Yeah, that was another eye-opener for me. Look at how clever Satan the devil is. He actually have us or people. He had not me no more. He has all of these people rejecting Jesus. Jesus ransom sacrifice. They're rejecting Christ. How much more clever can you be? But you know what? Satan wasn't that clever when it came to my mom. Because like I told you in my previous video, the way they treated my Aunt Colleen and Aunt Juanita, it was shameful. My mother was no fool. She saw how this works. So with my mom, she had everybody catering to her. She died of breast cancer. She moved from New York to Virginia, and when she went to Virginia and they knew that she was anointed, everybody was taking, like shifts to watch out for my mom because they felt that she was anointed. And anytime you are anointed, that's like taking care of Jesus Christ's brother, according to what the Jehovah's Witnesses teach. So my mom, she knew how to play the game. She played it and she played it well. She was like, I'm anointed. And it's not because she was trying to be disrespectful. My mother was smart. There's no way you're going to convince me to reject Jesus' ransom sacrifice. Because like I don't know if I mentioned it in some of my other videos, my mother was a toot. She was an astute study. My mother did research like crazy. That's probably why I love research. Her bed used to be filled with the Bible and all kind of books and everything that she was studying when it came to God and Jesus Christ. Okay? So, do I think my mother was anointed? Yeah, I do. I do believe she's in heaven now. I believe that. Why? Because she had that type of desire to be in heaven. And if you have an earthly hope, because everybody don't desire to go to heaven. I don't have a heavenly hope. I'm not trying to be whatever difficult. I have earthly hope. I want the paradise. I want the animals. I want to hang out. I want to fly airplanes. I want to learn the piano. I have so many things that I want to learn. I don't have that heavenly hope. My mom, she had the heavenly hope. So based on what your hope is, I'm assuming that's where you're going to end up. At the same time, my mom saying that she was anointed, who could prove that she wasn't? They take you in the back. What makes you feel that you're anointed? My mom says she felt God's spirit was pressing down on her spirit. And even though she was like, no, not me, no, not me, the spirit was saying, yes, 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 you. This is how she explained it to me. And I'm sure this is the way she explained it to the elders. Who's to say you're not anointed? How are you going to tell me I'm not anointed? I could go in the Kingdom Hall today or tomorrow, get rid of these videos, do whatever the hell, blah, 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 and play the game, if you will, and I am anointed. Every time that memorial comes, I could partake of the emblems. Yes, I am anointed. And you want to question it or you act like you're jealous? Oh, well, that's your issue. You have several people who have claimed to be anointed, and it's not because whatever, it's because they know how to play the game, honey. Because it is a game. Anytime you have people not partaking of the ransom sacrifice that Jesus did for us. Now it's time to play the game. My mom was smart as hell. I'm trying to tell you.
Then I went back and saw a Berean Pickett's film this morning, which was entitled, What's the Real Problem with Jehovah's Witness Organization? And it was from December of 2018. When I first saw it, it was deep. I thought, okay, I think I'm getting what he's saying. But that was another proof. He showed the chart of how the watchtower in an illustration lines up how the earthly organization is set up, and there's no Jesus.
So we'll put the link below so you can watch the video.
Okay, but here's maybe one of the biggest reasons too how we can know that the governing body is substituting themselves for Jesus.
Yeah, they are.
They have a book that they have approved, they have written. It's for elders only, and it's telling them how to act. Is this not going beyond what is written? So, that point. That book covers, I haven't read it, but I did see the index, and it has.
And she's talking about that book called Shepherding the Flock that only the elders are allowed to have. They don't want no one else to see this book, and not even the wives. Because I've actually seen Tubies, you're never going to believe this, when there were people who came up to the carts and they were raising questions. You know those carts that they're out there with, where they're not really preaching, they're just standing there, they're not doing no preaching. Not at all. Anyway, there is a person who accosted this Jehovah's Witness who is an elder's wife. And when this person asked this elder's wife about the Shepherding the Flock book that only the elders were entitled to see, this elder's wife, she said there is no such book. That's not true. She sat there and was ready to argue them down to the freaking ground, saying that there was no such thing called this Shepherding the Flock and that people were just telling lies. She said, I'm an elder's wife. Like she has some prominence. That means you're elder's what? In the real world? You are pretty much, a nothing. You are pretty much an idiot who fell for the BS. You are somebody who's a dumbass. But anyway, I'm an elder's wife. And if there was such a book out there, she said it so arrogantly, I would have been aware of it. And these people that was talking to her, they was trying to explain to her, there is such a book, miss. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be rude or disrespectful or argumentative. There is such a book. She didn't even have a clue. Because the book is on, if you go and do your research, they have it where you could download it yourself. But because she's not doing her research, like the Bible instructed her to do, she's not even aware. Wow. I was like, that made me scratch my head. Is she serious? Are you really that dense and that much in the dark and that dumb? They had the Shepherding the Flock book. They had the first copy come out and then they had a second copy come out. And guess what? You could download it on a PDF, the whole book, on a PDF, and you see why they don't want people to see this book. Except for the elders. They don't want the elders to let the wives get their hand on it, especially not women, they said. Don't let women get their hands on this book. Well, baby, guess what? Jesus Christ said, watch this. And Jesus Christ, once again, like I'm trying to tell my son, he said, leave it in Jehovah's hands. Leave it in Jehovah's hands. Like some little punk. Well, honey, we left it in Jehovah's hands. And Jehovah handed over to his son, Jesus Christ, to handle it. And Jesus Christ is handling it by exposing this organization to help people come up out of it and to help people not to fall into that trap. Don't fall into that hole. That's why it's on the news. It's on A&E. It's on what is that other channel? The girl. It's on what People Magazine. It's on Facebook, YouTube. It's on Twitter. It's on even Whisper. Whisper's like, well, you can whisper this and nobody's gonna. Yeah, Whisper's great because you can say what you want to say and nobody has to know what you're. It's all over about Jehovah's Witnesses. It's exposing them about the pedophile, the 2 witness rules, and how they're raping children. Everything that they sat up there and accused the Catholic Church. They used to come down hard on the Catholic Church. That was like their freaking number one enemy. Pedophiles all throughout it, all the priests and all these pedophiles. And look at their organization. They'll sit up there now and say, there's pedophilia in all churches and everything, but with our organization, it's but what? Your organization is the only organization that don't even apologize for it. Your organization is the only organization that has a whole database of pedophiles listed. that you don't want to reveal or hand over to the authorities. Everybody else done came clean. Everybody else except for you. And personally, if you want my viewpoint, I think they have this database that they don't want to reveal because half of the pedophiles on there is the governing body. Those governing bodies have, when you look at their record or their history, they have pedophilias where they're doing child porno or raped children. That's why they don't want to release those records. That's my gut feeling. You have nothing to hide, then why are you hiding stuff? What's up with that database that you have? Anyway, let's continue.
Points on who to shun, how long to shun, who should be deleted as a regular pioneer, what kind of employment is acceptable, and it's crazy. Okay, they've really gone beyond what Jesus did.
Thank you.
The second biggest point would be the mishandling of child sexual abuse. And we talked about the Australian Royal Commission. We had the Watchtower study, which was the last one I went to, saying, oh no, we direct them to report these things to the authorities. That was a deception. I will say that. And then, of course, we have discussed the shunning, which is not Christ-like. Okay, that's it.
Great. And I guess my concluding question, you've seen the movie The Matrix, right?
No.
You what?
No.
You've never seen the movie The Matrix with Keanu Reeves?
Can't
Come
answer that
on, Mom.
question.
We gotta take Mom out.
But you understand
Very little
the
about
reference?
it.
Okay, well, I guess we'll be watching the movie The Matrix later, but this guy...
No, don't explain it.
I'm not going to explain it. You're given a choice where I'm offering you the red pill or the blue pill. If you take the blue pill, you can go back to sleep. You can go back to being the adored, loved, exemplary sister sovereign in your kingdom hall, beloved by all, used on circuit assembly programs, etc., etc., etc. Like social life, the whole 9 yards. You can get your JW life back if you take the red pill. Or you can take the blue pill and you stay the way you are, where there's uncertainty, shunning, etc. Do you take the red pill or do you take the blue pill?
It has to, I hope I get this right, the way you explain it, because I haven't seen the movie. The blue pill is stay where you are now.
Yes.
It has to be that. Because I can't see that Jehovah and Jesus are approving of any organized religion. It all gets crazy when men start ruling. Harmful.
So there, we take the blue pill. Shalom. Bye for now.
So yeah, we're going to say where we're at. And do I feel that there is an organization out here that Jehovah God is supporting? I believe that it is anybody who is a part of Jesus Christ, following Jesus Christ's teaching. Like many people say, so where do we go once we leave this Jehovah Witness organization? You go to the source. You go to the 5-star. Why keep going to these 1-star, 0-star? No, the source is Jesus Christ. Anyone, or if you go find yourself me personally, let me tell you how I see it. Where do you go after you leave this organization? You go to any place that they are followers of Jesus Christ. The way Jehovah Yahweh, he wants us to follow his son. That's what he's asking us to do. No one can come to the Father at all. Don't even think about going to Jehovah except through his son, Jesus Christ. So anyone who is on Jesus Christ's team or who's teaching you to become more and more Christ-like, that is the church of Christ. We are all in unity and we are all in one as long as we are a part of the church of Christ. I like non-denominational because they don't sit up there. It don't feel like a cult type thing. Like, let's say you decide to leave this Jehovah's Witness organization and you go and join a Baptist or a Catholic, or you go and join Pentecostal or Seventh Day Adventist. They're going to have all of these. Any church that wants you to read certain literature and their books and their magazines, nah, that's okay. I'm gonna bow out for that. No, like the book study I go to, all they do is the Bible. That's it. They do the Bible and the internet. And I love that. And I also love how they say at meetings, is there anyone who have any questions? Is there anyone who would like to share something further? You'll never find that in a billion years, a trillion years with no Jehovah's Witnesses. Is there anyone here who has any questions? And they say it publicly. And then I like the way that they let everyone share their views based on the research that they have done. And it's so uplifting, it's so intriguing, it's great. And I think that I would be stronger with my non-denominational group if I had my family. If I wasn't freaking out over my family and hurting with that, and I could forget it, learn to let this what was supposed to be my family. Nah, they're not even my family because they never loved me. You're gonna sit up there and turn your back on your mother? The reason why you're here on this earth? I had life or death in my hand, whether you live or die, kid. I could have aborted you. Or I could have just sent you to your goddamn daddy or left you in the hospital. You have your mom who sat up there and decided to step up to the plate and take on this hard job. And in the end, all you want to do is defecate on her? That's some crazy nonsense. And when it comes to my brother, 21 years in jail, son, and I had your back while you was in there throughout all that time, everybody else forgot about him. And then when he got out, he had a place to come to. And then when he got on his own, he messed that up. And I brought him into my home, took care of him, helped him get on his feet, thanks to Yahweh Jehovah through Jesus Christ. And you're going to sit up there and turn your back on me for some man-made bullery? Nah, that's some hurtful stuff. That's why I'm saying, even when I still have my Bible study group and my new ministry, my church that I go to, it was still hard for me to make adjustments because I was still hurting. I'm still hurting because I'm in such disbelief that my family, the ones who I loved and worked like a dog for, stood by your side, stepped up to the plate when your daddy done walked off and everybody else done turned their back on you. I stepped up to the plate. And I'm the very one that you could throw to the wayside? Yeah, you're right. I was totally distraught, almost drank myself into a freaking nut job place or whatever. But Jehovah God Jesus Christ held a tight hold on me. No, Sheila, we're not going to let you go down. Not like that. And like I said, it really hurts me to think that my family, especially my son, all he could do is sit back and wait for my demise. Watch, she turned her back on the organization. Any day now, guys. Let's just sit back and watch. Let's just sit back and wait. Really? It's a very hurtful thing, Tubies. But at the same time, like I said, I appreciate the fact that I was smart and wise enough to make Jehovah God and Jesus Christ my foundation. And not my son or my daughter or this organization, my brother, none of these people who supposedly be my friend. Nah, they were never my foundation. My foundation has always been Yahweh, Jehovah, and Jesus Christ. And because of that, that's what's keeping me afloat. Even though they're praying and waiting for my downfall, because that's what they're doing. They're waiting for me to fall. They're not hoping that I succeed. My daughter, especially, out of everybody on the planet, my daughter can't wait to see me fall. So she could tell her children, see what happens when you leave the organization? She's praying for my freaking failure. That girl can't even be happy for my happiness. How sad is that? Anyway, without further ado, my tubies, I'm glad I got to show you what I usually do when I'm meditating. I turn off the TV. I turn off the music. I don't have my phone where nobody can call me. I have here the fireplace. You hear the embers burning? Let me turn it up a little bit. You can turn it up where you just hear the wood burning. Let me let you hear it. Yep, that's what I use to just meditate. Or I use they have different scenarios. Let me show you. We have my aquarium here, where you could just look at the aquarium. Relax time. Or you can put some music to it. You see the aquarium that you can have? You can have music with it while you meditate and think things through. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I love it, Tubies. It's very relaxing. After making this video, I feel my eyes getting heavy, and I know I'm going to sleep really good tonight because I feel like I did a good deed tonight. I really do. Anyway, Tubies, I want to say goodnight to you right now. This is Sheila True Love, truly loving you always. And remember, you always have a choice. Please choose wisely. I'll see you on the other side. Bye for now.